Man City 4 Burnley 1, Sergio Aguero fires City to the next round after early hiccup. The master marksman scored 2 in 2 minutes to turn this FA Cup tie on its head when Burnley were threatening a shock. Those goals, followed by further strikes from Leroy Sane and substitute Bernardo Silva, made it 32 domestic matches without defeat. That run stretches back to City's last defeat in this country on April 23 against Arsenal at Wembley in the semi-final of this competition. Burnley led at half-time through an Ashley Barnes goal but were overwhelmed in the second half as supercharged City moved through the gears. It means they are still going strong in 4 competitions in what has already been a record-breaking season. Aguero took most of the plaudits not for the first time in his goal-laden career, but he was brilliantly supported by Ilkay Gundogan. The Germany midfielder was rewarded for his performance with a big hug from boss Pep Guardiola when he was substituted for Kevin De Bruyne in the 76th minute. Burnley suffered FA Cup embarrassment last season when they were defeated at home by then non-league Lincoln City. But they could have been celebrating early in yesterday's third-round tie. City keeper Claudio Bravo carelessly conceded a corner in the 18th minute and the flag kick was delivered from the right by Johan Berg Gudmundsson. Burnley skipper Ben Mee, a former academy player at City, climbed well to win the ball outside the far post, but his header wasn't on target and no one managed to get a touch as the ball travelled agonizingly across the face of the goal. That, though, proved to be a temporary reprieve for City as the Clarets took the lead 7 minutes later. John Stones miskicked in embarrassing fashion to leave Barnes in the clear and his right foot shot was too powerful for Bravo as it whistled past the City keeper at his near post. Apart from an early David Silva effort, which was blocked, and a drive by Alexander Zinchenko, which was a shade too high, City rarely threatened in the first half. They weren't their usual sharp, incisive selves, and that played into Burnley's hands. Fernandinho survived a raised arm challenge in the air on Ashley Westwood, with referee Graham Scott ruling that it was not malicious. But City was still unhappy at the referee not allowing more added time in the first half. He blew his whistle with City on the attack and had to show the protesting players his watch to prove he'd got it right. But City's frustration at that stage, really, was more to do with themselves, and it was a different City at the beginning of the second half as they scored twice in as many minutes. In the 56th minute, Gundogan's quickly taken free kick was perfectly delivered to capitalise on Aguero's run, and the City striker drove home with his right foot. Sergio Aguero pulls off devastating nutmeg on Mikel Arteta during Man City training. Then the same players combined brilliantly to put the Blues in front. Aguero and Gundogan worked a 1-2, with the Germany midfielder cleverly finding his teammate with a sublime back heel. The Argentine hitman then went round Burnley keeper Nick Pope before rolling home his second goal. City should have scored again 5 minutes later, but Sane shot over on the run. Sane, though, made amends in the 71st minute with a neat finish from a typical David Silva slide rule pass. and City struck again 8 minutes from time when Sane calmly went round Pope, who had charged out of his goal, before picking out Bernardo Silva, who had been on the field only 3 minutes, for a left foot finish.